be rebranded.
Idris said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is suit business landscape.
Welcome back to Souk Business Landscape. Don't forget, comment, like, and share on Souk News TV. We are live right now on YouTube. Now, let's start with the first story. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has rolled out new restrictions governing who can operate as point of sale, that is POS agents, under its revised guidelines for operations of agent banking in Nigeria. Now, under the new framework, individuals with unresolved debt, listed banks, verification numbers, BVNs, or records of financial misconduct are now barred from participating in the fast-growing agent banking sector. Now, the guidelines released on October 6, 2025, seek to strengthen due diligence and curb fraud in the system. The CBN said the move reflects its commitment to improving trust, reducing financial risk, and ensuring that only credible operators manage last-mile banking services that are central to Nigeria's financial inclusion. Chooks, how would barring blacklisted individuals reshape trust and transparency in the POS sector? Or what is this CBN planning to do? Because whether we like it or not, POS, at the time POS agents or operators came in, they saved Nigerians a whole lot of stress. I mean, imagine you go into the bank and you just want to withdraw just 2,000 naira or 5,000 naira. You see a long queue. Now, with the advent of POS, all you have to do is just pay 100 naira. That is for 5,000, and maybe 200 for 10,000, and the rest goes up. But now they are saying they are going to blacklist some, they're going to register, they're going to do this. They're trying to maintain some form of decorum. What do you think this would actually bring about some form of trust in the minds of people?
Well, trust in the system is always an ongoing subject because you have to keep working on it. Every single season you keep working on it. For the POS operators, the initial plan or initial problem that made the POS to come up has been defeated because right now POS came majorly for the unbanked. Not just the last mile. It came majorly for the unbanked to be able to cater to that sector of the economy that could not directly reach the bank or have no access to bank account. Those in localities, those that find it difficult to access ATMs. Now, we've seen that gradually over time with what happened to us before the last administration left, where we had to start looking for our own money. We're now buying Naira. Time have switched. Now, POS have become not just, they've become a normal banking institution, part of the banking institution. And people have taken advantage of it. Another issue is that they've lost their name. Point of sale, that's what it's supposed to be. Point of sale agent. So I'm transacting business. I'm buying, I'm selling, I'm offering services. So I don't need to pay in cash. I pay via POS or I get change via POS. Now it has gone into them offering services of giving the community cash. The question now comes again. Dear CBN, POS was point of sale. POS was one of the major avenues of going cashless. But right now, POS is now one of the major conduct of putting cash back into the society. Because both those in the banking system and those within that particular sector have seen that POS is also an avenue of making money. So that is where the drive is. More operators, more services, the revenue service, and at the end of the day, you're making money. Now, see, CBN needs to, this is where we found ourselves because of the peculiar issues that happened to us over time. Okay. Now, CBN is saying, how can we offer better services for the last mile of getting cash and service operational? How can we get unscrupulous human beings away from the system? Because we've also seen a rapid rise in fraud cases
Yes.
because of easy access to POS machines. That was not before. There used to be a stringent regulation. Only businesses could get POS at a point in time. Before we now started having agents around, only businesses. Then only licensed banks could license people to be agents at specific locations. We've gone past all these stages to where we are right now, where at every gate of every estate, every corner, every front bar entrance, there is somebody operating a POS machine. Now, how can we bring sanity? That is where CBN is coming in right now. For the guidelines that were put in, if you have an unresolved debt, you are owing a bank or you are owing any of these people except the loan sharks, you will be marked and said, no, you can't operate the POS machine because there is some question mark. If you are involved in any kind of fraudulent activity, yes. Also, we should start having clearance from banks because each single POS operator should be registered to a bank, not just a microfinance bank, to a bank, because these are supposed to be each business entities. The administration came up with, if you remember, a kind of tax and registration for POS operators. That is where we are right now. But we need to see more. We also need to gradually start rolling back and ask, what's it called, these particular banks, what happened to your ATMs?
Now, so I'm thinking also now, you said that they came in as point of sales. Yes, I remember that when you go to different supermarkets and all that, you know, you ask them, do you have POS? Can I pay with my card? And that was how it was. So how can we bring that? And of course, the POS saw a need. What was the need? People were finding it hard to access cash from the bank ATMs. So that was that need. That was that hole that the POS saw. And they came in through that hole. So now, I mean, it just cost you 100 naira to get cash within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, rather than spending 30 minutes, whereby someone would now come and boycott the line and, you know, the whole place goes rowdy. Or maybe when it gets to your turn, that is when you will see on the screen, unable to dispense cash. So how can we now go back? How can we bring the minds of the people, the trust in banks, that you can actually go to the bank and withdraw, and it's safer?
Definitely safer
Than you going to a POS operator.
Okay. Let's also take our mind back. In the era of Sanusi, he had the sledgehammer, and he made sure the banks were conforming. Your POS machines needed to work. They were working because he made sure that there were penalties to be paid if your services were not top-notch. We need to go back to that era. It's enforcement. There are ATM machines scattered all over the place. They need to work. They are not there for art galleries. They should be made to work. It's difficult when you step out. If you go to the market, let's say you go to any major Nigerian market, there are POS operators for payment for what you buy. We need to hold less cash. The lesser cash we hold, the better for the economy. Because right now we are thinking of CBN is also going around having town hall meetings and trying to see how people can handle cash better, clean your cash. All this will be out of CBN budget if we go cashless the more. I don't need to hold cash to enter a bus. There are Lagos buses right now that I just need to swipe my card. The Cowrie card is there.
That's the BRT.
Free advert for you.
What about the yellow buses?
The yellow buses can do the same thing. There are smaller buses right now that still have that, what's it called? That swiping machine.
Yes.
So the yellow buses can do the same thing. But now the problem now is how do we standardize pricing? These are a whole lot of things that will come to play. If pricing is standardized, then good and fine. You know that if I'm going from point A to point B, it is this price. So just swipe and you go your way. We need to start pushing going cashless.
What about the
political
unbanked?
will is just a major.
Because whether we like it or not, the POS agents, they are catering for the unbanked.
Yes, they are.
So how do we get the unbanked back into the banking system? Because as long as we have the unbanked, the POS operators will keep making money.
That's another question we need to ask the banks. Dear banks, who are these people you are giving this POS to? Because one way or the other, let's leave with official channels, the banks are also making money off the POS people.
Yes.
You ask yourself directly, where are they getting those cash from? Who are the major people that own a large chunk of these POS people? There are still people within the banking sector. One person just operates a business and he has 12, 15 POS machines all around the place. Why? Because the banks are not offering the services they should. Now, it's easy to cater for the rich. It's very easy. He doesn't need to move around taking cash 10 times in a day. But the man that is selling tomatoes needs to transact on a regular.
The laborers.
He needs to go buy a basket, come, sell, go, buy again. How can we attend to this market and sectors cashlessly? This is what we should be talking about right now. If we leave this country and go to not far, Kenya, Rwanda, they have fintechs that are catering to all this kind of transactions. And people don't have to go looking for cash every single time. That way, we'll have less issues of people swiping your cards and taking your information. We have issues of criminal elements having access to POS machines and draining your account on the go. We have less issues of one chance using POS. For those that don't understand, those are robbers that rob people on the road. So these are things that we need to deal with. Yes, CBN we should leave the symptoms and treat the real issue.
You know, I still try to grapple how we have unbanked, yet I think, maybe it might not be 100%, but at least 60 to 70% of Nigerians have BVN. So why do we have a larger chunk of unbanked?
You can't force me to put my money in the bank.
Wow.
But you can tell me if I don't have BVN, I can't send my child to school. That you can do. But you can't tell me I must put my money in the bank. But now that tells, okay, now it's the bank's responsibility to make me want to put my money in the bank. So are they reaching out to the unbanked the way they should? Now, is it the big banks that should even reach out to me? Or is it the small bank that should reach out to
the
my
microfinance?
mom? Yes, my mom in the village. So these are the issues. Now, when you are struggling to make money, they don't see you. But once they see that, okay, this person is a potential and he has, but then they now come for you. Just like some people will tell you, go and invest into a community. Let them see that there are business opportunities of making a living. They will come back and put their money in that bank. So the smaller banks within the small communities should reach out to people and make them want to open accounts with them. Then we also have the cultural and the religious issues. There are parts of this country that will tell you, no, my religion will not let me bank with you or take a loan from you because of your interest kind of banking. We offer interestless, in quote, kind of banking. So it now depends what activity, what package do you have to cater for this sector of communities, for this sector of religions. So we have those kind of banks. They should leave their Lagos office, leave those Abuja office, get into the street, and get people onto their banks.
Now, you talked about, okay, now, I don't want us to just castigate the POS operators, because whether we like it or not, they are also a part of the labor force.
They are serving a purpose.
They're serving a purpose. So do you think that all these guidelines, all these rules that might seem harsh might stifle their business?
Definitely, it won't. No. Well, the rules are not that harsh. The rules are majorly to protect both the person collecting and the POS person too. But whatever strict regulations we see, they should have been there from the onset. They should have been there from the onset. I still remember very well, it was not easy for you to just apply and get a POS when it started. There had to be, there were levels of clarification, levels of identification, levels of security check before a machine was given to you, unlike what it is right now.
So that means the banks might be complicit of this.
They are the ones that gave it out in the first place, not us, not media houses. So we need those identification well and properly checked.
So that means the CBN should even be monitoring these banks more than
more than the end bit. That's why I was saying we should leave the symptoms and treat the real issue. The CBN should come hard on the banks. But that's another issue. For a very long time, since after Sanusi, we've not really seen the CBN telling the banks to sit up. We've not seen any kind of shake-up, apart from when it comes to board of directors, movement and all that.
Capitalization they have.
Capitalization is just telling them to, hey, get bigger so that the economy can grow faster. Aside that, where are we?
Now, you mentioned something about us going cashless. Do you think that the CBN should also put a cap on the daily transaction for POS operators?
Well, they've put a cap for daily transaction for me and you. They've tried putting a cap for POS. But now, the question we should now ask ourselves is, there are POS operators in large capital markets. There are POS operators in places where large sum of businesses are done on daily basis. We should now ask ourselves this question. For people like, let's say, in Alaba market, for people like, let's say, in the auto market, why should they be carrying cash? Why can't we have the banks, okay, if the banks think that, okay, this customer might not walk into our office, let the banks be the ones to license some particular agents to do cashless transactions for these people, for these customers. We've gone to places where, we've gone to markets where the person selling said, nah, man, I want to see my cash.
Yes.
And the person that wants to pay said, this is my cash. Let's have this trust broken down whereby, okay, he knows, she knows that, okay, this POS person is from this bank and they are trustworthy. So the way they also try to reach out to us through their sensitization and their advice, let's also reach out to markets people. You don't need to come to the market with 50 million, 10 billion, 500,000, even 100,000. There is a POS person that can handle that transaction for you. That risk is taken away.
What about the issue of network, interconnectivity? That's another issue. I think that's one of the issues that discourages people. Some people, you have some people who will tell you they don't do online banking. My mom is part of it. She prefers going to the bank, doing a transfer right at the bank, but using it on her phone or any other thing, or USSD sheet. There are people like that who
There are people.
I think they fell victim.
Yes, it's still more of sensitization. It's still more of sensitization. Nigeria is one of, for those that are wondering, Nigeria is one of those countries that when it comes to banking, fintech, we are up there. We are way, way up there, even more than a lot of European countries. That is where we are. So for the issues that we see around here, don't think that maybe some European countries you can just go and do transactions and it's gone. No, it's not done that way. So we are fortunate to have to be there right now, but can we get better? Definitely. It still boils down to sensitization, sensitization, sensitization. Now, for network issues, the bank have options. You can do USSD, but how many people know about the USSD platforms, codes, and all that? These are things that can be done, that you might not even require data to do it. So the POS operators should go beyond just take cash, collect 100 naira, collect 200 naira, collect 500 naira, or if you are taking large sums of money, they collect based on how much. They should go beyond that to being able to assist people to perform transactions without taking or receiving cash.
Now, I just remembered the USSD. You know, there was a time the network operators and the bank, and now it has been settled. So now, any USSD you do now goes directly to the network
you pay
operator.
6 point something naira. Whether it feels or it doesn't, whether it goes through, you pay 6 point something naira.
We need, how can we? Because if we truly, truly want to go cashless, networks have to be running. The banks have to be up and doing. If we truly want to go cashless,
yes, it's possible. It's very possible. It's still the willpower. Are we moving there? Yes. Yes, we are.
All right, so let's move on to the next story for today. Now, let's take another story. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Silk Business Landscape. Let's go into the capital market. The Nigerian exchange, NGX, extended its bullish momentum on Tuesday, gaining 92 billion naira amid renewed investor interest in insurance stocks rather than strengthening overall market performance. Now, market capitalization rose to 92 trillion naira, while all-share index advanced by 172.48 points or 0.12% at the close and closed at 144,995.26. The latest surge pushed the market's week-to-date gain to 1.84%, its four-week rise to 4.02%, and its year-to-date growth to an impressive 40.87%, underscoring sustained investor confidence. Analysts attribute the performance to increased activity in the insurance sector, which has continued to attract positive sentiment in the recent session. Trading data revealed that investors exchanged 507.4 million shares valued at 24.28 billion naira across 30,665 deals. Now, this represents a 2% decline in trading volume, a significant 67% increase in turnover, and a 14% reduction in the number of deals compared to Monday's session. Chucks, what's fueling investors' confidence? It seems to be in the insurance sector.
Yeah, definitely, and it's in preparation of what's coming. So for those that are not aware, we are having the tax regime kick off next year.
Okay.
We've had the insurance bill that has already gone and is working, is passed. So these are things that will definitely affect the markets. We have a budget that both being financed by oil, non-oil, and also borrowing. Let's not leave that out. And we are having the information is being given to us on daily basis that is working up there. Has it gotten to we down here? That is left for you to talk about. But now we have an economy that on the regular, on every day, we are being told is working, is working, is working. So what does this kind of narrative do? It fuels investment. It fuels confidence, which is what we want in the first place. What industry has gotten the larger chunk of this? Insurance. It doesn't mean that their capitalization is bigger than other sectors. No. But right now, we have an insurance sector that is going to boom. Mind you, this is not financial advice. But we have an insurance sector that is going to boom because it's not like what it used to be before. A lot of quoted insurance companies are doing exceedingly well thanks to the new laws that have passed and the new act that has come to play and what is going to start happening next year. With time, insurance is going to be more of a normal day life. We're not just going to see it as one of those things you take to pass police checkpoints because that's for car insurance. It's going to be a normal day life. Why am I saying this? For those that are also looking forward to paying tax, insurance is going to be a safe haven for tax. So we're going to see more people getting into it. Let's give you a rundown. Now, for those that are wondering, Mansard had a 7.3% day change. 1 day change.
7.3%.
7.3. That is huge.
Huge, yes.
Corners had 9.9.
9.9.
Consolidated Hallmark had 9.5. International Energies Insurance had 8.8. Wapik Coronation had 4.7. This is all coming from one sector. If we go back like 2-3 months ago, a lot of these insurance companies, their capitalization was less than 50% of what it is now. So imagine what the growth has been to this particular place. Is it going to grow bigger? It's going to grow way, way bigger than this because a lot of people will get to see that, okay, good, this is where it's going to happen. A lot of businesses will also get to lump in. We saw just less than 2 months ago where we had the law for recapitalization of insurance companies. It's going to happen again because we need insurance companies that will be able to insure major, huge capital projects in Nigeria and not going for foreign insurance companies for those kind of insurance coverage. And for us to be able to do that, we need insurance companies that are well capitalized. So this I'm saying is just like the basics. We are still going to see a lot of mergers in that particular sector, more capitalization in that particular sector, and more buyout. It's a good for us.
Why is the trading volume dropping even as the turnover is rising?
Now, the trading volume might drop. The trading volume is number of people that bought, not volume that was bought. 5 of us can do what 10 people did last week. One person can do what 100 people did last week. I don't know if you understand. Good. So these are things that what's it called? It rose by 60, turnover rose by 64 point something percent, which means less people did more than what a higher number of people did.
Now, when we talk about investor confidence, are we looking at the local investors or the foreign investors?
I really wish it's the local investors. Now we don't have that data yet. I really wish it's the local investors. Why do I wish it's the local investors? It's better the local investors take opportunity faster, early. Let those that are coming from outside take it when it's.
So why are the local investors not taking opportunity?
Well, we don't have that data to know who bought and who did not buy. Most times they won't get to show you who exactly who buy or where the monies came from, except if you now go directly to the exchange and try finding out. But hey, everybody, the NGX, your capital market is ours. Let's look at that direction.
So how do we now? It's a good thing that the insurance sector it's booming or about to boom or will boom, but how would that also transcend down to the average citizen? How many? Well, with the advent of the new tax law, a lot of people would have to, get a lot of things insured. But besides car insurance and all that, there are other packages.
There are
Education.
several packages.
Trust funds. There's so many, but people are not even aware.
That still boils down to what we are talking about when we sit on this table. Information, getting people to know that these opportunities exist. These packages are there. We should go beyond the era of shoes, ties, and people walking the street. We have to find a way of reaching the person out there and saying, okay, good. There are possibilities that in the next 2 years, it will be mandatory for you to have an insurance to deal with business in Nigeria. It's likely going to happen. Just say you heard it first here. It's most likely going to happen. Health insurance is most likely going to be mandatory. Okay, now on paper, it's mandatory for people that are working in offices. But that implementation is not, we've not seen that implementation yet. These are things that are most likely going to have strict implementation very soon. So if we are seeing all this and seeing that these are possibilities, which means this particular sector has the potential of doing way better than it's doing right now.
Now, a lot of these businesses, whether foreign, that have collapsed in the past, do you think that if they had better insurance packages, they would have still remained?
Yes, definitely. If they had been insured, that's Nigerian businesses.
Yes.
If they have been insured with insurance companies that were capable of paying paying premium when these issues happened, yes, definitely, they won't collapse. We have several fire outbreaks. Our neighbors down here, Balogun. So you just imagine if those that were busy shouting and screaming and crying and our heart goes to them were insured. Yes, they will cry, but they know somebody has their back.
Do you think these insurance companies are just sleeping, or are they actually doing something? Are they doing some groundwork or homework?
Yes, they are doing some groundwork, but at times insurance companies will go for clients with less risk. So we are looking forward to full implementation of the Insurance Act, where both the investor and the insurer are covered, and people do business knowing fully well that, yes, come rain, come shine, we are good.
All right, let's move on to the next story. Now, the federal government is mobilizing 49% of Nigeria's $2 billion fiber optic network investments to fast-track broadband penetration and strengthen the nation's digital infrastructure. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, disclosed this during a plenary session organized by IHS Tower at the ongoing 31st Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja. Tijani said the government's contribution will help close Nigeria's connectivity gap and create a solid foundation for the country's transition to a fully digital economy. He noted that expanding fiber optic coverage was crucial to improving internet access driving innovation and enabling inclusion across sectors. Now, according to him, the initiative aligns with the President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which prioritizes technology-driven economic growth. The minister added that the project would enhance digital services, boost productivity, open new opportunities for investment and job creation nationwide. Fiber optics. How will this fiber optics project, how will it be transformative for Nigeria's economy?
Before we go to this particular story, go ahead.
But before fiber optics, these networks are still complaining about power. So moving into fiber optics, it's like we're jumping. We're leaving the cart before the horse. I don't know how the phrase goes. Do you think we're even ready to move into? I know there's a particular network that's it's been shouting fiber optics years back. I mean, the Green, if you know them, they've been shouting that.
They came up and laid the groundwork and did the money stuff. But now, who exactly are they catering for? That's a different kettle of fish. Now, we as a nation, we have to grow. We can't be left behind. Countries like Rwanda, when they decided to go digital and were busy laying cables across the country, people were looking at them and were laughing and calling them fools. But that particular infrastructure they did years ago is paying off now, because they had internet connectivities in remote areas where people were not even, businesses were not even patronizing at that particular point in time, because they had a vision and they followed through. This is what great leaders do. You don't build a house when you need it. You build a house because you will need it. You don't build a house because you have a tenant. You build a house because you will have a tenant. In the same thing, we don't construct roads because we want to travel from point A. You construct roads because you will travel from point A to point B. So we should have had this digital infrastructure, all the cables, all the fiber networks. We should have had it already by now. We used to have a NITEL, unfortunately.
The building we occupy.
We used to have a NITEL who had the basic backbone infrastructure before GSM operators came online. The initial plan was that NITEL will still be the backbone for all the operators.
Yes, that was it.
That was the initial plan. But thanks to what they only can explain, NITEL fell apart. NITEL should have been the major backbone for every operator, laying down all the network cables and every single thing. So if that was done then, we won't be having this particular discussion now. We're talking about how we could get people in remote areas to bank, and we were saying, okay, internet connectivity. That should not be the case for Nigeria in 2025. But they say when one wakes up, it's this morning. So right now, the government is saying, okay, this is our plan, and we need to get this done. Now, let's now try and see a whole lot of transparency. We've seen from this particular story, 49% upfront has been dropped for this particular project, 2 billion. The question that we want to ask is, sometime 2 weeks ago, we had that same discussion on this table of $750 million loan for this part of this particular project. So let's start knowing these particular monies that is being earmarked and dropped for that out of that 2 billion. Is $750 million that came as loan? Is it what was dropped, or is it part of it? Let's start seeing those specifics.
Instead of going that route of always getting loan, can we do public-private sector partnership? Yes, it's capital intensive, but instead of going out to get millions of dollars outside, I mean, we have people who are capable, actually. I mean, if you raise a couple of Dangotes or $10 and the rest of them, you will get that money.
Well, the government, do they see it in that light? It takes a businessman to be able to get a businessman to work. When, after Trump's inauguration, Trump called, I'm trying to remember this Asian man, he asked the man to get them some billions, and the man doubled it. I will give you double of what you are asking for. I don't know if you understand. It takes a businessman with a business sense to bring business into his country, in the light that you're looking at. Is this president capable? He has to be. Right now, we need to grow. People might not understand it. That's why they say Dangote monopoly. We need to grow Dangotes in this nation because it's human beings that will grow the nation, not government. It's human businesses that will grow the nation, not government. Government will make the environment possible and make it conducive for every business to thrive. And we will hold them to that. But it is individuals, entrepreneurs that will grow the country. So let's take our minds away that there is a Tinubu or there is a Messiah that is going to come one day and will be in El Dorado. No, it's me, it's you. So just like you said, is it possible? Definitely possible. Finding them is another thing. Making them know that no matter what happens, your investment is protected is another thing.
Now, you said it earlier on. How do we get fiber optics to the rural areas? Because whether we like it or not, that is where connectivity needs more attention. I mean, forget the metropolitan, Lagos, and the rest of them. But what about those rural areas? That's where connectivity, if we truly want to get the so-called unbanked, this, that, into the system, which is going to help boost the economy, the GDP, how do we get fiber optics to the rural areas?
It's not difficult. It's still government will. Remember the era of, I remember growing up, ours was 066. I can't finish calling the last 6 digits. Nitel had those cables, Nitel cables. If you remember very well. Lagos was 01.
Yes.
Those cables were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
It's the same way. We need to lay those cables. If the green company could lay optic cable all the way through the high sea, oceans, and bring it into Africa, then why can't the government do it? So government can do it. It's doable. It's just that, yes, it costs a lot of money to put that infrastructure down, but we can do it, and we should do it because the onus is on us right now. Because if we don't get there, it's going to be problematic tomorrow.
How sustainable is this? Is it sustainable? Because sustainability also matters in any infrastructure, in any infrastructural project we are doing in Nigeria. Sustainability matters a lot.
Yes, it is. Now we have a lot of road constructions that we get to see, and you now see. Once you earmark, nobody encroaches in the national grid high tension way. It's there. You know, it's a no-go area.
It's a no-go, yes, because of...
You know, you definitely know it's a no-go area. It's the same way. So if we have to look for how to pass those particular cables, then good and fine. We'll find how to pass those particular cables. If it's difficult, then the government should go and look for how to sign satellite deals. And have strictly communication satellite up there. So there are options. So government should weigh which one is cheaper and more affordable for us for total coverage.
Lastly, how would this now translate? Because I'm looking at how would this translate to new jobs, new businesses? How would it, affect the economy?
100%. Let's start from education, which is the basics. I don't need to go to Lagos or go to Enugu or go to Abuja or go to Ife, apologies, or to go study or conduct one research when I can stay in my village in Kara Namoda, have access to the net, and attend that same school. Classes are conducted online right now from nearly all Nigerian major universities. So now the universities themselves don't have issues for connectivity because you are streaming the class right from Yola, and your student in Abia is attending the class, and Max present, and you see him, he sees you, and everybody is in the class at the same time. I don't need to worry myself about research work when I know I can connect every single researcher and we all sit down and put our heads together and work. So information flow is key. My data is protected because I now know that, okay, good, there are servers not outside this country that can say, okay, tomorrow we are shutting down because your president has refused our president a handshake. So these are things that we need to sort out for ourselves and not depend on someone else.
What about businesses?
Businesses will, who is worried about transactions anymore when I know very well that my transaction is going to go through? Who is worried about trying to reach a client or reach a new customer outside this country when I know that definitely he is just a button away?
All right, let's quickly go on a short break. We still have more stories coming up on Souk Business Landscape. Don't forget, keep liking, drop your comments. We would like to read your comments. Welcome back to Souk Business Landscape, Business Development Economy. Now, let's take this next story. Airpeace Limited has issued a firm disclaimer, refuting claims of a 30% off Africa flight. Yes, you heard it. Flight promotions currently circulating on social media. Now, the airline stated that it has no connection to the purported discount offer, describing it as entirely false and misleading. In a statement released by its spokesperson of C4 Whiskey, AFI, Airpeace clarified that the promotion did not originate from the company and warned customers to be cautious of fraudulent schemes designed to exploit unsuspecting travelers. And the airline reaffirmed its commitment to transparent and official communications through its verified channels only. The publicity urged members of the public to disregard the fake advertisement and avoid sharing or engaging with promoters. Airpeace also encouraged customers to verify any promotional information directly from its website or official social media handles to prevent fallen victims to online scams. Chuck, this is quite... Now, let's also put a disclaimer out there, because when we talk about this, it's what they always say, it's Nigeria, and this is not Nigeria. This is just some unscrupulous people just trying to make extra money. But if you look at this now, how serious is this threat of online scam? I mean, in terms of reputation and customers' trust?
Well, it's quite serious. The airline has, over the last few months, repositioned itself as a brand that customers should go to. And we've seen that reciprocation from the nation, as in also putting them first and trying to make sure that Nigerian businesses do well. An example is the Brazilian connection. And when that particular agreement was signed, I was saying, okay, a Brazilian flight is going to come this way. And I was shocked when they said, no, it's Airpeace that's going to take you to Brazil, not a Brazilian flight bringing you this way. And I said, good. We've seen a lot of issues where when we try taking multi-steps forward, some people will try to take steps backward. This is just simple. It's internet fraud. Be careful out there. It's fizzing. You might be shocked that it might even be Airpeace something.com, but it might not be really their official website. So don't let anybody tell you Nigeria. No. You also might be sure that it's not even a Nigerian person that is doing this. Anybody can do this from any corner of the globe. They just see an opportunity that people are going to fall for, and they'll push it out there. So please, the company have come to tell you that, hey, we are not doing any promotion. Our prices has not increased. That has not decreased.
Has not decreased, yes.
So follow the right channel and do not make unnecessary payments online when you have not verified. These people have fallen victim to this over and over again. Not just in this country, internationally. Worst off outside this country. So don't fall victim for that.
Talking about this online payment, how do we make it even more secure? Because, I mean, this is part of the reason why a lot of people prefer to still go and book on the counter rather than paying online.
Well, I can't remember booking on the counter for a very long time. Okay, now, there are several fintechs and auxiliary services within that you trust, that you should know. So if you have those particular apps that you trust or that you use, so you can make payments through those particular ones, for whoever is fixing will not go through them. They will have a different payment gateway. So always look for what payment gateway that you use. So if you pay through your payment gateways, anything that is outside your payment gateways, then question it.
Also, this online scammers, they have a bank, they have an account.
Yes, they have an account.
How is that even possible?
Now, for those that have Nigerian bank account, the EFCC can always trace them.
Okay.
So you don't catch a criminal except he commits a crime. But you can follow a criminal's trail and catch him in the act of trying to commit a crime. But for those that are online, the advice is always this. Like I said before, always pay through your trusted payment gateway. For others that you think is an account, the internet has become so wide and so broad that payments can be made outside bank accounts. There are other service providers that are not even Nigerians. There are other services that, as long as your typical example, your Verve card, your
Yes.
MasterCard, your Visa card, they are international cards. So there are other gateways that will also be able to assess those particular payment details that are not Nigerian banks. Not. So you need to be careful out there. If you are making payments here, make sure they are through the gateways you normally pay through, that you trust, that you have. Anything outside that, question it.
All right, let's move on to the next story. Alternative energy. Nigeria has spent 242.68 billion naira on solar panel imports in 6 months. Now, talking about this, Nigeria spent 248.6 billion naira on importing solar panel in the first half of 2025, reflecting the nation's growing appetite for renewable energy amid persistent power shortages. Now, the latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, shows that solar panels ranked among the country's top imported items during the period. Now, between January and March 2025, photovoltaic cells assembled into modules or panels worth 125.29 billion naira were imported, while the second quarter recorded about 117.39 billion naira. The sustained import volume highlights strong demand for household and businesses seeking alternative sources. Analysts say the trend underlines the urgent need to expand local manufacturing capacity for solar products. They note that boosting domestic production could help import dependence, create jobs, and support Nigeria's energy transition plans as the government pushes for increased use of clean and affordable energy solutions. Chooks, even though this is not where we're supposed to be, I mean, power is, in 2025, we're still looking at this issue of power. But, okay, we are here now. Renewable energy, solar panels. And it shows here now that a lot of people are going for alternative power. I mean, you cannot say they should not do business. They have to do business. They have to make profit. And this is why they have resorted to solar powers. But now the report is saying that imagine if we can actually start producing these panels in Nigeria. That will create jobs. That would also drive the economy. What do you think? Rather than fixing the major problem.
Well, for fixing the major problem, you're talking about having generation, distribution, transmission sorted out. That is a long-term project coming. From Obasanjo's administration to this particular administration, we've seen money budgeted, disbursed, missing, and people can't account for it. People have not been jailed for it. We can still remember the Lawan issue and the money in the cap issue for projects that were given in that particular sector.
Yes.
And the major players are still the big boys in the economy and the politicians in the economy. So that vicious circle, we need to start dealing with it. Until we do that, then we can now make headways. Are we trying to get generating stations up? Yes. But it's a long-term project. That infrastructure development in power is a long-term project. But from now to that long-term project, people need to survive. Businesses need to thrive. So they will go for a quick fix. Possibilities, which is the solar installations. Now, let's look at the figures. 242.68 billion just between January and May.
Quite huge.
Of this 246.68 billion, just within this short period. Now, this is the one that were accounted for officially, coming through official channels. So you can be very sure that more came through unofficial channels. More were not declared. More were under-declared. Definitely, that is for sure. So let's give and take times 10. Of this amount, less than 0.5% of this was made here. So all this amount is out. This is what we've lost. Yes, that we say that's lost. This is what we've lost to foreign government, to China, majorly. Dear President, dear state governors, if the president is too busy trying to fix the economy, dear state governors, dear Lagos state governor, because this is where over 60% of them crosses through your ports, apart from those that come through illegal border crossings. dear Lagos State Governor, look at an opportunity. There are local manufacturers of panels. There are local manufacturers of batteries. There are local manufacturers of inverters. Dear Lagos State Governor, this is a major opportunity. This is a major opportunity. Don't sleep on this. Dear governors from the East, a lot of this is going to the East. Because you are one of the sides that are suffering this power issue. This is also an opportunity. Don't sleep on it. Then those from the middle belt too.
But should
those from the north.
Should it even be the government? Why not the private sector?
Yes. Now let's when we say why not the private sector, good and fine. Somebody gathers somebody. Somebody calls somebody. We have town criers. Who sends the town crier? The village head sends the town crier.
Yes.
Good. Dear governors, send your town criers. Gather your private possible people that can invest in this. So the private investor right now is busy looking for how to calculate his current business. But you as a governor, you know and you have the data of what is coming in and going out. You have it. You can say, okay, look at the opportunity. We on our own side will give you this backing. Produce this here.
I know some are even assembled in Nigeria. Well, do you think that's still a good way to go, or should we do more than just assemble?
We have to do more than that. We have to produce it. We have to produce. Because if we say assembling the solar panels, what I would do, I say going back to China to get the glass, to get the fibers, to get the wires, to get almost everything. We have to find ways of producing them here. And in the long run, another thing we'll start is just a matter of time, standardization and waste from this particular panels. They have a lifespan of between 10 to 30 years. After that, what happens? We now start dealing with issues of waste from solar panels. Whereas we can make something way better here. These are opportunities that we should not just sleep over. We have to start taking full advantage of it.
So how can policy and private investments, drive this homegrown solar industry? What do you think?
The governors, just like we said, the president, just like we said, well, we are going to say, well, if I would say tariff is not going to work, but hey, talk to China. You've been there several times. You've signed beautiful deals that brought rail to Lagos, that is still building the red rail all the way down to the Lekki axis. We can still talk. And let
you said talk to China. You're talking about partnership?
Yes, partnership.
Foreign investments?
We might not be foreign. Let's partner.
What about
they have people that are building this there. They can come here and build. If China can come here and build the electric cars, they can also do.
If China comes here, that doesn't equate to skills transfer because they will do it.
It's a matter of time.
Okay.
It's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
It definitely is a matter of time.
How would that also, I'm looking at skills transfer because if China comes to do it here, will they transfer that technology, that skill?
You don't transfer technology by will, except if you buy it. Or if it's a policy whereby there is the Chinese person, the next person following is a Nigerian person, and he just understood it. But most times it's not most times by will. You have to find a way of getting it.
Okay.
Either you buy it, either you study it, or you steal it. There are no two ways about it.
We don't steal in
Come
Nigeria.
again?
We don't steal in Nigeria.
Well, when it comes to intellectual property, we share.
Yes, we share. That's the right word. I'm looking at a situation whereby there's a policy. China comes in, your technicians, maybe some parts of the senior technicians can come from China, but the technicians, or let's just say 60% of the workforce is from Nigeria, and maybe 40% from China.
60% of workforce. Now, define the workforce.
I'm not
the
talking
workforce
about...
might not be those producing. The workforce might just be the lower workforce.
That's why I said technicians.
Technicians in charge of what? Of logistics. Or technicians in charge of what? Of assembling when they finish doing the real do. It's still the same thing. We need to get into the nitty-gritty of producing these particular things. Yes, we have companies here in Nigeria that are doing it. We have to push them. If the government can upscale them, be it financially, we just have to push them.
Can we have some form of initiative program whereby we train some of them and equip them? Some kind of partnership with the public and private sector. You train these technicians, you empower them, and they go build some of these solar panels. Is that possible?
It's possible.
Or we even liaise with...
possible. A lot of the inverters can be built. A lot of electricians actually build inverters.
What about these
Local
colleges of
inverters,
technologies doing? Can we not partner with them?
Okay, now you're going somewhere. Now we have the government initiative for the technical colleges. We have also the hubs that government has planned and put monies down. We should start seeing them now. It's almost 3 months. We should start seeing, okay, this hub in this state. Some polytechnics, majorly polytechnics,
yes,
were also earmarked as going to be centers for those technology hubs. We should start seeing them functioning by now. So these are questions we should start asking. Okay, good. Where are those hubs? Where are they functioning? What's coming out of them?
All right, let's move on to the next story. Bilateral credit system. Now, it says here that after converting $5 billion railway loan to one, Kenya has completed the conversion of its $5 billion railway loan from dollars to one to cut borrowing costs. Now, Finance Minister John Mbadi announced on Tuesday. Mbadi explained that the currency switch will lower the loan's interest rate from dollar-based to yuan-based terms, saving the country about $215 million annually. Now, the two tranches of the loan were initially secured in US dollars for the construction of Kenya's standard gauge railway. The move aligns with Nairobi's broader debt management strategy and deepening financial ties with China, which remains Kenya's largest bilateral creditor and infrastructure partner. Jokes, is this, they got the loan in dollars and converted it to one. What do you see? Is this a good move? Will this pay off? It says $215 million has been saved. Annually.
Forward thinking. People are seeking solutions to their problems. So if they can save $250 million annually, imagine what that will do if reinjected back to the economy. Kenya has a high debt burden right now as we speak. So they are seeking solutions. And the international bodies and international lenders, they know very well that they won't give you a loan in your own currency. So let's be fair.
So do you think other African nations should follow suit?
Definitely.
We
don't need to reinvent the wheel. Someone has done it, and it's profitable, and it's good for their economy. They should also go. All African countries should follow that route. But the question should be, African countries, please borrow less.
But if you look at it, it's still US dollars to one. So it's not, it's still outside the continent.
Yes, but right now it's still better for them compared to what it is when it's the dollar. There's a whole lot of fluctuation when it comes to African currencies and the dollar. The dollar is always up there, pushing high, going there. Then you see a whole lot of African countries' currencies devaluing. So
how strong is the one to the naira compared to the dollar?
Now, it's not just it's the one to their own currency.
Their own currency.
So since they do a lot of business and with China, the possibility of devaluation of their currency is lesser than that of the dollar. That is why they are having this difference in the first place. So whatever devaluation happens between their currency and the dollar won't go the way of their currency and the yuan as fast as it will happen. So that difference now becomes what they are saving. The same thing happened to us and what's it called? And the dollar. When this administration came up, we went from 300 and something to 7,600. We woke up and it was 1,800 and something.
Even almost 2,000.
So you just imagine if we had that debt in naira. Then the lender will be the one crying. But right now, it is what it is. African countries need to wake up. If you are taking a loan, we have to be specific. What are you taking a loan for? We can't be taking loan to service a loan, please.
So how might deeper one integration affect Kenya's future borrowing and trade strategy? Do you think it should affect it in a positive way?
Tomorrow, Kenya should not borrow in dollar anymore. They should, if they are borrowing, borrow in borrow in Chinese currency.
But they're still borrowing.
Yes, they will borrow. They are a country. They are borrowing. The US is borrowing, so they will borrow. But when you borrow, just like we always say, borrow for projects that can pay back that loan. That way, don't borrow for social services. Nigeria, please don't borrow for social services. Borrow for businesses or infrastructure that with time will be able to pay back that loan.
All right, let's move on to our next story. It has to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is always on the news. Now, Donald Trump has announced on Monday that all medium and heavy-duty trucks imported into the United States will be subject to a 25% tariff. Yes, always tariff, starting from November 1st. Now, this move marks a significant escalation in the administration's push to protect American manufacturers and strengthen domestic supply chains. Trump had earlier stated that the tariffs initially planned for October 1st were based on national security concerns aimed at shielding U.S. truck makers from unfair outside competitions. Companies expected to benefit include Parker's, Peterbilt, and Kenworth's brand, as well as Daimler's truck, Freightliner. According to Reuters, existing trade agreements with Japan and European Union set tariff for light-duty vehicles at 15%, but it remains unclear whether the rate will apply to larger vehicles. Now, the new policy is expected to further test trade relations with key U.S. allies. This is quite interesting. Now, how would this tariff, how will it impact global automakers and, of course, U.S. trade partners? Because, I mean, it's not just cars are coming in to the U.S. from China, Japan, from other countries. And now you're slamming it 25% to protect yours. How would that reflect? Wouldn't that reflect in the end user? Would they not feel it more?
Well, if it's several ways. Now, we all know before now, the U.S. used to be the haven when it comes to truck manufacturing. They were the go-to country for truck manufacturing. They had the big boys' names, the Kenworths, they had the Dreslers, they had the big boys' names. Then Europe woke up and started competing. Then Volvo decided to go into trucks. Mercedes went into trucks.
Yes.
Then one particular day, Japan also decided, no, we can get into this place. India also came up. Then China came up and scattered the entire market.
Always China throwing spanner.
Chinese trucks were costing less than 25% of what US trucks were costing. And a lot of Chinese trucks were fast and they could offer you disposable trucks. They won't last as long as the US trucks, but they will get you there at 10% of what Kenworth was offering you. Over time, a lot of the US market now started looking outside, and the US trucks were more of articles of ostentation for the pride of the nation. Now we have a president that is a protectionist, and he said, no, we have to turn this tide. Manufacturing is leaving our shores and going elsewhere. So the tariff regime came, but right now the truck industry have also called and say, hey, don't forget us. And now it's coming their own way. Is it going to be good for them? Definitely yes. More companies will look forward to acquiring US trucks because it's going to be more expensive buying trucks from outside. And yes, it will grow more jobs. Yes, it will grow. We'll get to see, maybe at the end of the day, we'll see those kind of agreements whereby China will now say, okay, don't worry, we won't produce these trucks here anymore. We'll come and produce it in your place, which is most likely what he wants. So we'll see those particular industries coming back into the US soil to produce.
Just like what happened with ByteDance.
Come back here and do the production and not produce in your place and ship to us. Why not do the production here? Employ our people, pay your tax here, then ship to your own people.
But this would also strain America's relation with Japan and the EU.
Well,
Is Trump not looking at that?
Relation is interest. That is where we on this side of the divide will miss it. We miss that a lot. International relation, it's interest.
Interest.
So whose interest are we here for? So they are making sure that their interest is protected. So it's up to you to see how you deal with yours.
Do you think that this might maybe cause them to shift to other markets, maybe Africa?
Are we producing trucks?
I mean, bring the trucks into Africa if US is slamming them with a tariff.
Yeah, but another thing you now get to ask, so what quantity of trucks are we most likely going to take from them compared to what the US takes from them? So these are the dynamics there. What also stops Africa from producing their own trucks? Dangote started stuff with Zeno. And
yes.
So what stopped it? There used to be an Anamco. What exactly is stopping them? We need to get back. What's his name? Kostaris and the man from Newi, AVM. Innocent, yes. IVM, yes. So we should also get into these spaces because we need a lot of these trucks. The trucks, what we get to see around here are majorly Asian trucks, China, Japan, Indian trucks.
Is the Nigerian market viable for truck production?
Definitely.
Apart from Dangote ordering, in large quantities.
Definitely. How many trucks did he order for? 4,000 trucks. Just imagine if 4,000 trucks rolled out from a Nigerian mill, rolled out from a Nigerian assembly plant. Just imagine. That assembly plant is covered for 5 years. So they have enough funds to produce for the next 5 years. But that particular production is going to China. To be precise, that Chinese company had, at a point in time, had to show videos of rolling out Dangote trucks from their plant. With the inscription on the trucks already. They showed them rolling out from their own plants. So is our market? Yes. We can't grow. We will get to a pace whereby Africa will need more trucks than the West. If we grow at the pace we want. 90% of the mining, trucks are involved. 90% of road construction, trucks are involved. Movement of last mile goods, trucks are involved.
So coming back to US, like you said, these other guys from Europe, China, Japan, they offered lesser amounts to get these trucks. So Trump slamming 25% doesn't also automatically equate that the ones in the US will bring their price down. How would this balance?
They have to find a way of competing because whoever is buying aside loyalty, aside performance, another thing he also be looking at is price. Performance, yes. Price is also is high up there when it comes to making decisions on what to buy. So will they bring their prices down? They have to find ways of making it competitive. They definitely have to find ways of making it competitive. If they have to seek for how to get materials to build cheaper, produce cheaper, and sell cheaper, good. Because even if if the 25%, if this tariff is there and that truck is still coming in cheaper than ours and it's performing very well, they will still go for it.
But that would also translate to the end user. If they eventually agree to this 25%, they just jack up the price.
They may not. They may not. Now, why do I say they may not? Now, for some particular production, what is rolling out from the assembly plant, the cost of that is rolling out from the assembly plant is not the cost at which, even 25% might not be the cost at which you are getting it. So it might be rolling out from the assembly plant, and by the time it gets to the end user, it has been marked up by 50%.
With or with the tariff?
Without the tariff. Those possibilities are there. Typical example, the drugs that were leaving, the US, and going elsewhere were selling cheaper, whereas the drugs that were coming from EU into the US were selling well over 60-70% of the cost of production. Same thing happened to us this way. Remember when the pharmaceutical companies left? Ventolin, that was how much? Went almost times 4, times 5. Did the cost of production change? No. So that's why it's always better you manufacture and you control the price in your country.
Quite interesting. This has been a very robust discussion on the business landscape. Don't forget, from reforms in banking and broadband to global shifts in trade and finance, the stories shaping today's Souk business landscape show one thing: policy, technology, and market are more connected than ever. I am Olumide Shokoya. Thanks for watching, and see you next time tomorrow for Insights that moves the economy.
Thank you very much for being part of SBL today. My name is Chooks, John Rogers Chooks. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Idris said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is Souk business landscape.